Hey everyone, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. We're here for Project Runway All Stars Season 6, Episode 6, Thrown for a Loop by Betty Boop. The designers are going to try their hands at designing one of the most famous cartoons in the world. Let's see how they fared.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, we got our full panel back tonight.
Hey.
I like debating whether to take my jacket off so I can match everyone. I don't know. I haven't worn this jacket in once. I love it. It reminds me of Clueless.
That's my favorite movie.
Hey everyone, I am Michael Shirley, your host for tonight, and I have got a panel of lovely ladies you might find very familiar. To my left, we've got Hanna Bee Tucker. Tell them where they can find you on the internet.
Yes, you can find me at Hanna Bee Tucker.
Michelle, take it away.
You guys can find me on Instagram, and I quit my Twitter because I hate Twitter. So you can only find me on Instagram at Uberreste.
Exclusively.
Hey guys, I'm Mayte Carrillo. You can find me everywhere at Mayte Carrillo _. And as always, we have our live chat going on. So if you want to chime in and have any suggestions or opinions, whatever it is, log in, let us know.
Well, what did you ladies think tonight about the challenge?
Major fail. Let's do a redo.
Mayte's been wanting a double elimination.
I haven't. Ever since, I think it was last week, I'm like, when is there going to be a double elimination? Like, this needs to happen. I'm tired of it. A lot of people aren't getting the concept of the challenge. And it's frustrating.
Well, I think it's because they're not really putting a budget into it, and they need to do that. And so they're just scraping up whatever they can. When Alyssa was describing their guest, she's, all these things about her, and out comes an animation. We think it's going to be Rihanna or something like that. I'm just disappointed. Like,
Betty Boo.
Let's push up the budget a little bit.
Yeah, it was like Georgina Chapman had said earlier in the night. It was like, do any of you know who Betty Boop is? It's really strange.
That's the thing. I'm just like, what is happening this season? Like, everything is just so boring. It's like we have all-stars, and then all-stars who have been all-stars before. And everything's like... I mean, the kids are doing a better job on Junior. I don't
Snap.
I don't understand. Like, are you not excited to be here anymore, or what?
Anne.
Oh.
Anne's just...
Anne.
I just can't deal with Anne.
It's like
Every
negative
time
vibes.
she's about to enter, and they're like, "Here comes Anne," I'm like,
oh, they're bringing down the party.
Her shirt today was like a nurse shirt.
She's such a downer.
I feel mean, but
yeah,
it's just the vibes are just negative energy.
I feel like she
I'm
doesn't
not
even want to be
feeling it.
there.
Yeah, like she's smiling like...
Oh my god.
But maybe
exactly
there is
what
something
she's
to that. Maybe it's not about the budget. Maybe it's the time. I think it's probably the time, given how raggedy some of the edges on everything always look.
You
Or
should
they're just-
$200. You should still be able to bust out something amazing if you're a good designer.
Like Joshua, he had a lot of fabrics, a lot of items,
Right.
and he was like 50 cents. Like I think all the people are just trying to get like that one fabric instead of like maybe buy a bunch of stuff you might not use and just have options because they're always like,
spend it
I've got
all.
1 yard.
Yeah, that's true.
It had to
not-
be real silk. Well, you can't see that on TV. So.
Yeah,
there you
not
go.
everything you buy has to be
yeah.
No.
like designer fabrics because
Right.
we saw that kind of got people in trouble tonight. Those two
did.
Alexander McQueen looking dresses.
Oh gosh.
They're all copying similar styles from one another.
Lots of copying,
saw
lots of
that last
copying.
week.
We were, yeah, and we had mentioned, back to Project Runway by season 16. By the end of it, they were all just doing what Brandon was doing, but for some reason, they all want to do draping. It was like literally half of the people. It was like a draping project they had pulled out there.
Yeah. I have to say, Olga says, these designers on their second season of Project Runway, the inspiration is Betty Boo of all things. How do those two things result in such a lackluster runway show? And Queen Sparta, which she always comments on her videos, she's decided to join us today for our live chat.
Yay.
And she said Anne gives grit teeth advice. Has anyone else noticed that?
What?
Who does
She
it?
gives grit teeth advice.
Who does?
Anne.
Oh,
Anne.
and when she
Yeah.
talks,
Oh,
it like she
yeah.
doesn't come.
Yeah, sorry,
she's
they're
because
just
opening
we-
her
like
mouth.
typing.
We don't
and
think she wants to be there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a forced smile. Yeah.
She's like,
I
everyone
agree.
wishes I was Tim Gunn.
Oh, no, and
I don't think so. I like her. She's very like, you can tell like her comments. She's like, yeah, do it.
Well, it's hard to tell
do
really
it,
anything
bye.
about her. Like, you wouldn't think she had a career in fashion or,
Yeah.
you know, like anything like
I
that.
agree.
She's
But
a little mean.
She is mean.
I think
So
what's
does she.
mean about her is that she's not saying the right kind of critiques. Because we've been saying that she doesn't really offer suggestions. She's more just like, this looks old.
Figure it out yourself.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad Isaac Mizrahi laid down the law and was like,
Kind
all right,
of.
too much
Yeah.
old stuff,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I just think she's not feeling it. So she's like checked
Same.
out mentally and emotionally.
Well, as we've been talking about, the challenge tonight was to design a look for Betty Boop, and the winning outfit was going to be available at Torrid, which is always, I think, a fun challenge when the item actually gets made. I'm sure we could probably go on Torrid.com right now if you want to pull it
Actually,
up.
let me check. I didn't even think
It'd
about
be
that.
interesting to see how true to
Oh, I always love to
the
see
sample
that.
it actually was.
They have been trying to be more timely and actually get the stuff up the day that the episode
Yeah.
airs.
Oh no.
Did you see? They gave like a little Snapchat. Oh my God. Chat. Oh, shot.
Snapchat.
God. My voice today. Yeah, a little snapshot of Betty Boo in his design at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see it?
No, I was out
It
the
looked like
door.
she was wearing a thong.
It didn't look good. It didn't look like the actual
Well,
outfit
they
at all.
didn't really do the skirt at all. It was
Yeah.
just like a mesh nothing skirt.
I like their concept and their efforts.
Well,
work
I
out.
think if all of the designers had thought in a way that was like, okay, forget Betty Boop, it's Torrid. Like, if they really weren't that comfortable about it, think about what would have sold there, you know? Because Torrid is more like a sexy, sassy, you know, like big busted, big hip, little waist, or just like all around.
Which is funny because he just made like panties.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, given like that look very much reminded me of Heather's, the new one that's coming out. I don't know if you guys seen the preview, but it reminded me of something that girl would wear, where the leader of that version of Heather's is overweight, but she's the most popular girl in school, you know, and she's, I don't know, she dresses like really sexy and sassy, but I really like that look. And Popeye even stopped in to
He
reinforce the
did.
fact
He
that
did.
Betty loves to dress sexy, you
Right.
know. I think that Isaac must have given him a call.
I think so, which none of them did, by the way. Really at all.
No.
They didn't, yeah.
Young and chic was really the keywords for this. But, I mean, everyone seemed like they knew who she was, right?
They did.
Yeah.
They knew her name, and they knew Popeye as well, but they just
Right.
didn't listen.
Right. Well, were you finding anything good on the internet?
No, I didn't find anything. There's
Well-
just regular tees with her image on them.
Well, we are early for the time, you know,
True.
True.
that it could be going live. It might be going live at like midnight or something, right? Tomorrow in the morning, I don't know. But be sure to check it out, you guys, or you gals, if you want to purchase the look. It is available at Torrid.com. So we'll get into the looks now. And we've got up the first look and the winning look of the night. My biggest problem with this was I felt it was kind of fast fashion, but it is going to be sold at a fast fashion brand.
True,
So I
right.
think that does make sense. I feel like he probably thought more about the...
Commercial end of it. Yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
smart.
I
Obviously,
do.
because he won.
Yeah, and even that skirt, I mean, we see how it is very, like, sexy.
Yeah.
But you could wear that with, like, a black pleather legging, you know, if you didn't want to, you know, you could have fun
Possibly.
with that.
Yeah, or another tight black skirt underneath it.
Mhm.
It's a little shorter.
Yeah.
Layer, switch it up.
I
That
thought
a
it
very
was, like, a
sellable point.
little too sexy, almost, like, borderline trampy, you know, for Betty Boop. Like,
But Joshua like makes trampy stuff.
I know. So
does,
I
that's
had
his
to
thing.
give him that. I had
Yeah.
to give him
But
that.
I think it worked. I think like this like his personality really worked for this challenge. Like
did.
to his advantage.
I appreciate that he is following, even though it is a little risky, his like true aesthetic and who he is, and we're starting to identify him as a designer now, which I like. And at first I didn't like him at all, and now I'm
Same.
starting to like him more now that I'm seeing more of his stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
I like his mindset too. He's like, I sketched this out for myself and I don't need anybody else's opinions, and
Yeah.
it's just totally him, and it works.
He was
really the only one that considered the challenge, I think. Like the only one out of the 10, because everyone else I was like, really? I can't. It's the only thing I could see on Betty Boop.
I
Like,
could kind of see Helen's look on Betty Boop, but we'll get to that. I gave this look I was kind of rough this week. I gave it 2 stars because
Oh,
it
wow.
was like, I think it's just like a really fine line because you have Betty Boop, someone who's supposed to be like the eternal like glamour girl, but then you get something that would be sold to Torrid. So the
It's
brands
totally,
don't quite.
they don't.
It's updated though, you know what I mean? Like it's not just a T-shirt. It's like a T-shirt made out of sequins, and then he took the pearls and did all the trimming.
I
And, like,
know.
It's very like intricate. It's not just like slapping on a T-shirt. I think it was very thoughtful in that way.
Yeah. Maybe it's the thing under the black dress that's getting
undergarment?
me. I don't mind the little garter. I think that's cute, but
little undies.
The little
it's like the harness underwear. I don't know what
I've
it
never
is.
seen that done before,
Yeah.
which is actually kind of
So-
innovative a little bit
You'd
there. I
see-
didn't mind it.
Kind of
I
looks like a
didn't hate it.
bathing suit.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did y'all give this look?
I actually gave it a 4. I really liked this look. It was my
Okay.
favorite. I'm starting to like Josh, which I didn't expect.
I gave it
Michelle?
a 5.
Oh my! Oh
Wow.
I just
Oh,
really think
wow.
like he actually considered the challenge and thought
Yeah.
about like every piece of criteria there is, and really took the time to make all the details and stuff. You know, it wasn't just like I'm gonna make a dress and I'm squishing it together. You know, and, well that's half the other dresses.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
runway,
No,
but
you're right.
I think it worked for me. I don't know. I was surprised myself too.
I'm surprised you gave it a 5.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to process that. When you said 5, I was like, what? You said a 5?
What about you, Mayte?
I gave this a 3.
Okay.
I thought he really did take the concept into consideration, and I like the addition of the pearls, and it's very different than anybody else's look, so I give him props for that.
You didn't just copy everyone like everyone
Right.
else did. Yeah.
Maybe if that
street
little
style.
panty thing was like maybe like with that strap it's got. Maybe if it was more like a.
Maybe if it was black.
Or, no, I don't mind that it's white. Maybe if it was more like a tube dress. It's just a little high to me for.
The undies you're saying are just too high
Yeah, it's
waisted.
just a little too much. Like still hung in the last challenge a
I see.
little
It
bit.
almost turns into granny panties in a
That's
way.
why the white
see what
is
you're
a little.
saying.
Yeah.
But it works.
It kind of adds a balance though to the outfit a little bit too, which
The
I can
contrast
appreciate.
between them, with the
We'll
black.
just have to ponder this outfit.
I mean, we like it. So.
Yeah, we know Michelle's already won over.
She loves it. She gave it 5.
There we go. All right, well, let's move on to the next look we've got of the night. And this is Edmund's.
Oh, Edmund.
Oh, I was really hard on Edmund.
Oh.
Why don't you
Deep
start
breaths.
this off, Mayte?
I actually am glad that he used this fabric as opposed to the black and white image that he was making, because it was just a disaster.
Train tracks.
Right. And then I saw the back of this dress, and it did look so deformed and not appealing towards her body, and it looks like he couldn't even make up his mind of where he wanted to go, where he wanted to take this dress.
Alyssa Milano had something to say.
Yeah. She was pretty harsh.
She was really mean about this. And wait, no, Anne told him to use this fabric, which I think was a mistake actually.
And
I think it's better than the train tracks thing, though. But I
Yeah.
just think he took it in the wrong direction. Like everybody says, okay, this is McQueen fabric, but like, yeah, because you tried to like mimic a McQueen dress with it out of the same fabric. Like he could have done.
what can you do with like a mirrored fabric? Like
I think you
that?
could just do a different silhouette, something that you're thinking of that's your own, and work with the print.
It just doesn't look like Betty Boop at all. And all I
No.
see is a flower print he tried to make it like a flower. It's like flower on flower. That's not Betty Boop at all. I don't.
Except it wasn't even like, it was like half flower. It was like, okay, I kind of tried, but I gave up.
It's like wilting.
You don't really see her. You never see her in like an extreme print ever.
Never.
You see
That's
like
why
a
I was
polka dot,
shocked.
a stripe, but that's about it.
I agree, but this silhouette really doesn't
No
help
favors.
at anything.
Maybe he was trying to. Maybe he was trying to mimic like her hips or something.
Or the,
I
the
don't-
flowiness of
I
her
don't know.
I don't know.
It's just this whole cancer tumor type design that everybody keeps coming back to,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no.
I wrote bottom draping kind of messy, and Alyssa Milano said saggy balls.
Ugh.
She really went there.
Yeah.
She did.
She did. I wasn't expecting her to say that.
No, it doesn't seem like her character at all.
I gave this a 0 because I would have sent this one, or, well, Fabio's, which looks like just a slightly updated version of that one home. What about y'all?
It looks like someone crumpled up a piece of paper, so I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 1 because,
Generous.
yeah.
5 to 1. Wow.
I gave this a 1 as well. And Olga says, have you seen what happens when a diaper wearing toddler runs through the sprinkler? Yeah, the bottom of this dress is what happens.
Oh. Wow.
All right, Olga, tell us what you really think.
I love her input.
Everyone's giving messy
Sassy.
comments.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Let's move on to the next one. I gave that 0 stars. It's yucky. This is another one I gave 0 stars. Sorry, Shar, if you're watching this. Shar was on her show the other week, so...
She admitted that it wasn't her favorite look, and
Yeah,
she
she
knew
did, yeah.
that she kind of lost the direction there. I love the color, so I gave her actually 1, and I do love this fabric. I think it's kind of more on the luxurious side. However, it looks like she just was trying to do something with it and literally made 2 cuts and went choop and just squished it up. Like, there's no point or direction, and there's nothing sexy, chic about this at all.
I gave this a 0, but I think it was the best 0. I don't know. I feel like she was the one that started the draping trend. I don't know where that works into the editing of the video, but it looked like
Right.
she was kind of the first one to go at it. But it looks kind of like a mom in the second trimester, like with all that stuff in front. I don't know. And the shoes are the best part. We actually don't have those in the picture, but they were like rainbow shoes. I don't like rainbow print, but
I think that was smart of her to choose those shoes just to try to dress it up. But
Yeah.
it's just all too chunky. And Betty Boop doesn't want to look chunky.
No.
You know?
And yeah.
And I wrote this, which is something that Rebecca Minkoff, Fashion School Drapery Project is what I wrote.
From a freshman, she said.
Oh, yeah.
Freshman.
And for me, I think besides the fact up top, like who was it that said that? Like, it didn't fit right. Like, it was too tight, and then there was this weird,
It fits her super loose.
Yeah, it was too loose at the waist. But the inside, to me, if you're going to see it, you can't see, like, that white behind.
white.
Like, if it's going to be asymmetrical, it needs to be, like, lined, which I can't really imagine lining neoprene. But I asked Michelle, so wouldn't you line that? And she was like, what? I wouldn't do that. Were you guys a little nicer than me with
No.
my 0
No.
score?
I gave it a 0. I think Shar struggled. She lost her way because to me this just doesn't look like her. And I think that is a color she would choose, but I didn't particularly love the color. And it's just like, I don't know, when you drape anything, you have to let the fabric speak. You have to let the body speak and come out. And instead of just like I think I could see her, in the workroom just struggling. Like, I know this isn't right, and she kept trying. Like, you got to just scrap it and start over sometimes. And I think she just was like trying to fix something that was unfixable.
That's what I think, was it Ken that said that? He's like, I'm just watching her destroy this, like, in front of me. Like, it just wasn't fitting with.
Yeah.
And that's not, that kind of fabric, like, sewing it is not going to be very forgiving of mistakes.
No.
Right.
Like,
When in doubt, though, put a belt on it. Just put a belt. A scrap of anything, just make a belt.
That would have at least brought some curves that Betty
Right,
Boop
make the
has.
shape.
Something,
Right.
Yeah, some
fashion.
shape to the dress.
Yes, this was not a good look for sure. And one thing that she said that several other designers said a lot tonight was like, I'm trying to step out of the box, trying to do something different. Okay, so if we were all going to do something different, we wouldn't, like, just in life in general, you wouldn't just do something you had, like, no interest or, like, no capability of doing.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't, like, go and, like, make that. Like, you don't know how to make that.
Yeah,
like,
choose a fabric you know.
When they're saying do something different, like, do something you can do, just maybe use a different fabric. Or, like, Like, do it differently than you're doing, not differently than you're capable.
Right.
I think there's a big difference between reinventing yourself, pushing yourself, you know, and evolving, or just like trying to do something that completely goes against your personality and aesthetic.
It's like they're trying
what
to
they're
be
doing.
completely different when it's
Right.
like you need to focus on your strength and do something that you haven't done this competition.
Right.
It's just they're like, I don't know if it's because they're so caught up in it. Do you have any? What would you say about that, Michelle?
I mean, you like I said, I think it's more about your personal evolution, because like every season you have to reinvent yourself and you have to be better, but you have to kind of work within your own brand, within your own signature.
Yeah.
So you don't want to come to the table and then like it would be like me making some pink frilly dresses. Like that makes no sense to anyone.
Char's brand is rock and remix. It's all about rock, and she's doing like I don't want to say Alexander Wang, but using like that kind of material and like a scuba suit type thing. So, yeah. If you guys at home are going to be trying out for Project Runway soon, stick to your strengths. Because like it seems like it helps everyone. Like even Merlene tonight, which was, well, we'll get to that
She
one.
got saved again.
Yeah. Well, let's look at our next outfit we've got up, which I heard Mayte squawking about
Which
as
one
it
is
was
this
coming
one?
down the runway. Very Miley Cyrus younger now. You know, I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen the music video, like Old West meets Versace, kind of like
Confusion.
odd choice for Betty Boop.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this fabric. I didn't find it appealing.
Which one?
Oh, which one? Pretty much everything. I think she said this was a pantsuit, right?
Yeah, you couldn't really, even when the model was going on the runway, you couldn't really see under the sheer jacket.
It's like a romper slash a bomber jacket, sorta.
I think because she had like success with that little gap thing that she did with the boot connecting like the pant to
Yeah.
the skirt. I think she was like trying to like work that out with that little sheer.
That was my first thought when I
Strap.
saw this.
But
Maybe if if that portion, that sheer portion in her legs this was like detachable, maybe that would work somehow.
Or at least makes sense.
that would
that's
totally be like a Torrid thing, like a zip off pant.
Oh
Yeah, like
Totally.
maybe in the
Very
90s.
commercial.
I mean,
I gave it a 2 just because I didn't think it was like I could see it walking down a runway somewhere, but I could never see Betty Boop.
That's
wearing
what I was
it,
going
like,
to
at
ask
all. Like,
you.
I've never seen her in like pants,
Or
especially long pants, you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
Bell bottoms. That's
Yeah.
not flattering on a butt like that.
I don't know why everyone was picking this weird like tie-dye fabric.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Like we said,
That's
Betty
so true. I didn't realize
What's
that.
in the water?
I thought the jacket was kind of cool, not Betty Boop at all, but it's cool. And if maybe she had paired it with like a short, fluffy skirt or something, it would have a different vibe. But I think the jacket, like the idea of it, is cool. I gave it a 2 as well.
I gave 2 strictly for the jacket because I like the jacket, but not on Betty Boop.
It's kind of
like you said.
cartoony, the jacket. Like
A
maybe
little
if
bit.
she was in like a cowboy hat, maybe. You know?
Yeah, like you
But-
said, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Totally see that.
Actually, I could see Miley wearing something like this.
But the pants are just with the mesh, and then it's like a silky fabric that's so cheap, and it just looks cheap to me. Which
And it's
I'm not a fan.
blocky. It's not like a sexy, hourglassy shape. It's just like, I'm cutting off your hips.
Yeah, I would have just not done that knee thing at all.
Yeah.
Like it was enough with the jacket.
Yeah.
It was
So
too
did
much
anyone give
costuming.
this higher than a 2-star rating? I didn't
Nope.
think so. All right, well let's move on to the next one, which is the one I said I could kind of see Betty Boop wearing,
Ugh.
like given her figure, like the bust with
I agree.
I know what you're.
that and the fabric of the bottom, and the shoes were yellow, so you got that pop of like I don't know. I think
I
it
liked
was
that.
It
Yeah,
was just kind
that
of
was smart.
and I wrote that just because of the color choices given like the history of animation, like starting in black and white. I thought, I was kind of looking at that with like the gray and the black and the white, which I thought was okay because if I were one of these designers, I would have picked red. Because
No one picked red.
I
No
know,
one did.
and they even said that, but I would have picked like like red, like crayon 8 colors in the box red. Like
Maybe
red,
because
red,
her
red.
dress already is red and they didn't want to be
Yeah,
called out
something
for it. I don't know.
Let's be
different.
honest. I don't think they really saw her on the runway that day.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, but just the classic.
Well, yeah, but like
Totally
she always
not.
No, I think it's like
I wish I could see all the designers like sitting there trying to like pretend, like pretend
Yeah.
like this is cool.
I know.
you
this
could
is-"
kind of see them being like,
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I wonder what came out on the runway. Probably like a tennis ball and like a green rat. I don't know, but a little modern on the top for Betty Boop. Maybe that structure, but I don't know.
I think it's the gray.
The gray is
That
killing
gray
me.
is just not flattering with the polka dot. And I like the fact that she went with the polka dots at the bottom, because that did give it a Betty Boo like element to
Betty
it.
Boo.
Betty Boop. Betty Boop element to it. And
Betty
I
Boo is actually a 90s like pinup like vintage singer that like totally took her look from Betty Boop. I'll expose you sometime. She's very fun.
okay. I do like the fact that she added a choker to this.
I was gonna say that's the most Betty Boop thing about this outfit.
The choker?
Because the gray it ages this look, and that's not
It
Betty Boop
does.
at all. And I got lost again with the gray. I think that it should have been white because it just doesn't mesh at all. The gray should have been white, and then that would have made the whole look more cohesive.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wrote the same thing. Like, I feel like the black and white, the gray, I don't know how someone can manage to make polka dots so depressing.
Well, it doesn't really look like much of a dress. It kind of looks
Yeah.
like she tied it like a beach towel.
But, like, the top's depressing, the skirt just looks depressing. Like, I wish it had more volume to it.
Preach,
So-
Michelle. Tell us.
It's just like,
What does she really
I feel like
think?
she's almost there, but, like, it needs to be the black and white. The gray's too, and then
Maybe a
her-
red top or a white top or something.
Even just the black and white and like a because she's trying to create this hourglass shape, and to me it just looks like a straight wilty. You know what I mean? Like, but I think she was trying, and
Yeah,
she could have
the
just edited a
stripes,
little bit to
yeah.
make it a little, because the stripe, the way she matched it was amazing. But then the model has this like straight hair, like she just
Yeah, she should have like a little afro
very
or something.
serious, and just got this like really serious, depressing vibe, and I don't.
Were they saying
Actually wrote-
workwear?
Oh,
That
it
color?
does look like workwear. I actually wrote that the
Depressing.
model's face, she looked confused. Like, she didn't get the outfit either. And that's
Yeah.
a huge thing. Like, the model should really be feeling the outfit, and that says a lot for a designer,
lot
I
of
think.
yeah.
I gave this 3 stars. What about you, ladies?
I gave one.
Two,
Oh.
one. I said 1, 2. I mean, it's very
1,
well
2.
constructed, and I think that if she could have edited a little further, it would have been way more successful.
Yeah.
Mayte?
I gave this a 3. I liked it.
Well,
Some parts to it, of course, but
when we say
overall,
like
3.
it, we're being nice.
3 is yes.
All right. Well, we've got another outfit coming up next. This is Stanley's, and I feel different ways about this outfit.
Same.
Why don't you tell me what you think, Hannah?
I see Daisy Duck in this more than Betty Boop. Do you guys see that?
Oh,
I totally do.
yeah.
With, like, the innovative, instead of the bow on the head, it's kind of in the collar form. And there's some old vibe I'm getting from this. I think it's the fabric. But then there's this young
Yeah.
vibe with the cut of it. And I think that it's not my favorite, but it's okay. Like, he did. Yeah, I just give it 2.
This
Did
is
okay.
like the kind of cut that like if you're a young woman, you have like a body type like Gwyneth Paltrow. Like you got no
Exactly.
chest, long legs.
Exactly.
You know? But if you aren't a young woman with that shape, you look like you just got out of church.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, just Betty Boop doesn't really have the body for this dress. I think when I first looked at it, I thought it looked kind of cheap. Like the fabric looked like it needed to be steamed. Like there were kind of like nicks, like where like something had been pulled, you know. And the collar, I like the idea, but when they zoomed in on that, it was like stuff sticking out. It was like all glued.
no.
It was all glued on. You could
And
like
hot
see the
glue
glue.
strings. Just
So
It looked like
Cotton balls.
It did.
It did.
That's what. And then they zoomed in, and I'm like, oh, those are pearls.
Like that ball
But
challenge.
he didn't even
Right.
sew them on. He just glued them all over the place.
Yeah.
I thought it was ironic because in the workroom, he's like, everyone's making these really old, like matronly dresses, and then he picked like a grandma fabric in a grandma color, and then he put like grandma looking rhinestones on it.
They weren't even, it wasn't even like nice beading. It was like plastic,
Like cheap
Like where it's
plastic
cut to look
rhinestone.
like-
Yeah, like a fake diamond.
yeah, like fake a diamond,
didn't
Art
have enough-
Deco, like
yeah.
Art Deco white diamondy
Yeah.
kind
Like he didn't have enough
Way.
time to finish, so he just stuck whatever he could find and put it up there.
But like, could you imagine this in a striper polka dot? Then it would be so cute. It's like a little jumpsuit. I would
Maybe
get
if it was
more.
like different on the top than it was on the bottom with the fabric choice.
Yeah.
I think he just needs to show more skin, like maybe more of an open neckline,
Yeah.
and that would have made it a lot better.
Even though, like you said, like mix a stripe with the polka dot, like Helen had, it would be more playful, and like a belt or a red
like
top or
it's-
something.
It's fine, I feel like, the way that it is.
They should have just made her like
Yeah,
all
no
over-
belts.
It reminds me of Tinkerbell, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I gave it 2 stars because it's like. It does look
Yeah,
like someone.
it's-
I guess Betty Boop is like 60 years old. So, like, she is old Hollywood. But
Yeah.
I mean, they got a young, chic looking model to put in it. So I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 2.
I gave this a 3. I really like this one. It's classy, it's a little bit edgy, but I don't see this at Torrid.
No,
And-
maybe
No.
in black.
Right. And
Possibly.
I don't see the modern, like, Betty Boop wearing this.
Yeah.
outfit.
Agreed.
What did you give it, Hannah?
I gave it a 2 because
Okay.
it's
We on the
just
same
so-so.
page.
Yeah.
There we go.
He made it safe. That's it.
Well, next up, we've got Ken, and Michelle really liked the notes I'd made on that one. I wrote,
Let's hear him.
pretty, chic, expensive, doesn't really show off the best parts of Betty Boop's bod, kind of hides those things. What do you guys
I can agree
think?
with that. I feel like it looks as if Betty Boop is going to some red carpet event or something like that. But I agree, it should be showing more of her curves because that's what she's all about.
It's got a leg, and it is showing
that's
all of that
true.
leg.
Yeah.
I feel like it's constructed very well.
Yeah.
It just looked so pretty going down the runway as well.
It looked expensive, it looked chic, a little off for Betty Boop.
A little
but
bit.
I thought it looked like the most well-made, like, high-fashion dress.
Yeah, this is where I got really confused because I'm like, did they want streetwear? Did they want high fashion? Was this red carpet? Is it casual? Like, it's just a mixture of everything. So this is,
Yeah,
I
they
definitely
really didn't
agree
say where
it's-
Betty Boop was going.
Right.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to look at this. I mean, it's gorgeous.
She's not visiting Popeye in that.
But no, I mean, she might be with that slit.
Oh, watch out, olive oil.
It's hot. It's very hot look, but it does hide her curves because Betty Boop, that's what she's known
Yeah.
for. But it's just so confusing, like this challenge. And I'm like, if I go back and look at, I mean, these other designs, I don't know. Am I the only one who feels like this was just confusing?
It was confusing.
Yeah.
The
I thought it was
parameters
safe.
were, yeah.
And I think he knew he was not going home.
Right. I
It's
mean,
really
it does
pretty.
look like Hollywood,
Yeah.
and it is
does.
sexy. It was kind of boring, kind of basic, and the bottom's like more Jessica Rabbit than.
Oh, yeah.
It looked good
right?
moving. It
Right.
looked really good. Unfortunately, we don't really have a side shot, but it looked really good as she was like walking around that circle.
I think maybe if that top ruffle was like a lot smaller, I could see it like cartoonized, you know, on Betty Boop, where it's like.
Oh, like form
accentuates-
fitting?
Where the ruffle is like smaller, so it kind of accentuates the bust more. Then you can see her waist, then you have
Yeah.
the slit. Like I could see that more, but it
little
still seems
shorter.
too classic and not really updated, I guess.
Well, it was my highest rated one. I gave it 4 stars.
wow.
But next we have a look. Oof. You guys.
Fabio's killing me this. I
Oh.
cannot take any of his looks. Like,
I
how is
hate them all. I want him to go home. I like the
God.
last 3 weeks. I'm like, this guy should go home.
How is he not at the bottom?
I don't know. I wrote no
no.
next to this. Like someone turned a Rorschach drawing into a paper airplane. Not flattering.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that centerpiece. He pulled it directly to the center, and that's where your attention is drawn, and that adds like weight to that. Like, it's just not a flattering look.
It's
as
very
far
like
as
Species, like
yeah,
that
when
movie.
you're-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Venus flytrap. It's gonna open and then like eat you. I don't know.
Yes.
It's just a weird thing to put on a dress right
It's
there.
got like a mad
Why?
like Asian
Stranger
vibe to it too. Doesn't it have like this Asian vibe
Yeah.
to you
It
that
totally
like
does.
Betty Boop does not have at all?
How is this Betty Boop?
Nothing of this is Betty Boop.
No.
How is he safe?
Like absolutely nothing. And then, oh God, I have to point this out. Her hair, how it's styled,
You don't
makes
like
it look.
it?
No, it's like back in the 20s. Like she already looks like a 80, 90-year-old grandma, and then with that hair, it's just not flattering.
Betty Boop was made in 1930, so maybe that was trying to be a throwback to that.
Oh,
I think,
maybe.
I think the hair was for
the
sure because
only
he said
Betty
he
Boop
wanted
thing.
finger waves or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's.
That kind of is her hair too.
It might have been nice if they could have maybe not like they could have teased it a little bit to make it like puffier finger waves. Because I want to see
modern.
a big, I want to see kind of like a bushy look. I would have tried to make my model look like Betty Boop if I could, you know.
Yeah, I think it's smart. I really don't hate the
I
hair.
wasn't a fan.
Just I didn't even notice the hair with this dress in my face. I couldn't.
All those
I did.
folds, like you said, it draws attention to the waist. Even like she's like a really thin woman, and it's
Yeah.
just not attractive. Like even on her.
The back was that, but it was a flat diamond. It looked like a scab. I don't know.
The
what-
back
I
was
can't
really
even-
weird. I think
I
the back
didn't
was
like it.
way worse.
It was
There's just like a
so
black like
weird.
thing on her butt.
Exactly.
Super scabby.
So scabby.
Ugh.
Grandma-y.
We
Oh,
got
can
two looks coming. Well, what did you guys? Did you guys give this anything above a 0? No, me, I gave it a 0.
It kind of reminds me of All Saints. And like they do all these weird folding thing, but it's very modern and it's like for boy figures, you know, you can't like have an ounce of fat on
like
you.
an origami.
I
folds
get
and
it's modern
stuff.
and stuff, and I like if it was a different challenge, I would like it more. But I know it's
Yeah.
not flattering or sellable, and it's not Betty Boop like whatsoever. But it's okay.
It
you know?
reminds me a lot of. It's like the McQueen kind of feel. That
It
the
does
other
Yeah.
one
because of that
had.
stupid tie-dye print again. I
Yeah.
don't know.
The
Everybody was like,
mirroring of everything. Yeah. Yeah. I no.
they like sprayed pheromones all over the tie-dye fabric section in the mood, and everyone's like, we have to have tie-dye.
Ruffles, draping. All right. Well, we got 2 looks left. Now we have Merlene's, which her design kind of went mostly in front of the face of her model. Luckily, we got her from a different side. Another fashion school draping project, strange shape to use for Betty Boop. Strange fabric for Betty Boop. Kind of looks like a fun dress for like a pregnant lady.
The way I really like Merlin and I like her aesthetic and
Yeah.
everything, but the way that piece that was draped, it looked like a elephant trunk that was like
Aw.
moving when she was walking, and it just is so distracting for me. I'd like where she was going, but not for Betty Boop. I think that there's just not enough sex appeal here, and it's too classy. Betty Boop isn't classy. I mean, like
It's not
in her
sexy.
own- you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like not in a bad way, but
I
in her
like
own
this.
way.
Yeah, I actually like this, and I like where she was going. But like you said, it's not Betty Boop. And I feel like every single week they're just giving her a shot,
They are.
and she's not really stepping out and paying attention to the challenge to herself and what she's capable of doing.
But is this not better than Char's?
It is.
This is better than
Definitely.
Shark.
This is
better
the
than
best, I
Sharks.
feel like, of the draped thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It's more like avant-garde
It's
with
done
like
correctly.
the ruffle, but still, I don't see it on Betty Boop. The fabric was so thick.
Yeah, just not
So
for this
thick.
challenge.
I think if it was shorter and you had that more hourglass shape, and I do kind of like that she picked blue because I can kind of see that being the new red on Betty Boop,
Yeah,
you know.
especially
and
that-
then the shoes kind of look athletic and weird to me, so it's kind of like
I didn't even pay attention to that.
yeah, I can
just
see
a really
that.
weird. Like I feel like if it was shorter, it would have been like maybe rated a little higher.
Yeah,
I give it 1
Agreed.
star
Yeah,
just
I did
because it like was better than Fabio's.
definitely. I gave 3.
Yeah, I gave
I'll
it a
give
3
Marlene
as
some
well.
credit there.
But it's kind of like a 1 hour dress, you know, you're just like, oh, okay, pin this stuff in the middle.
Yeah, it didn't look. I think that was a good idea for Marlene, being that she is the worst seamstress in the entire house.
I was gonna say the sewing looks
So.
pretty good, but that's kind of why she just kind of like
Yeah, she got
pulled it
to
together.
hide it
That's
by like
why.
all these wads and stuff.
She had another fabric. It was hers, right? That had that little.
Oh.
It was floral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she just stuck with the blue and not
Yeah.
the floral and mixed both, because that would have been a disaster.
Yeah. I think she would have gone home if she did that.
Yeah.
There would need to be, to do a floral, it would need to be real sexy and tight, real puffy on the bottom or something like that. I don't know why any of them pulled florals. A couple of them pulled florals.
Queen Sparta said, I absolutely hated Merlene's design. It reminded me of the napkins at restaurants where they stick the fork and knife in.
Oh,
So that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think I too see that.
stick a fork in me, I'm done. That brings us to our final look of the night. Looks like a napkin.
Yeah, this
I
one
was
just-
not a fan of this. I think this is the most napkin-y of the napkin looks we got.
Yes. Can I just say, it looks like Beauty and the Beast, those dancing napkins that twirl around. It looks just like that.
Sneezing on her. Or like when you got guys get like the pocket square and they like do that.
Oh, yeah.
And they fold it over and stick it in. It's like the pinch pocket square.
I do like
Michelle, give it to me. You're going to say something I'm not expecting you to say, I think.
I really like it.
Me too. I like it as well.
No.
Yeah, I
Dang
could,
it.
I could see this like on
A dining room table.
like on a young Hollywood starlet, like
Zendaya.
now,
Zendaya.
like it's ready to wear. And I just think the draping is beautiful. It's not contrived like all the other ones where it's just like, here, I'm crunching this and sewing it on. It kind of looks twisted, and I kind of like how it has that feeling where it's just tacked on the front. With it just gives it depth to me.
Yeah.
I like the contrast and the kind of different. It looks like it's two dresses together.
Right.
It does,
Yeah.
but not in a good way, I don't think.
It's very
you like the black
pretty.
with it, though?
Yes,
Yeah.
that gives it that extra
Yeah.
like oomph that it
Yeah.
needs, and the fact that it's polka dot too.
Yeah.
It's like even better. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. It's short, it's sweet.
Yep.
It's very like Betty Boop style
But
and
modern.
modern, and her hair is perfect.
Betty
kind of
Boop would
feels like
never
it's-
wear that.
Well, I can see this on her if she
Ever.
was like cooking in the kitchen or something.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Because it looks like an
that's an
apron.
exception. Yeah, it looks like an apron, doesn't it? Not like a maid.
Not in a
No.
good way. Like a French maid kind of way. There it goes.
I think
Okay.
it
What
just
about
kinda-
if it with the back?
The back wasn't as good. I think it was a little afterthoughty.
Well, you had to have some way
She
to
had-
stick it on her.
I didn't mind the back so much.
Just wasn't
It was okay.
integrated, as seamlessly as the front. Just kind of looks like it's floating.
I really would have honestly rathered him get like some of that see-through plastic, that
Oh.
like what you use to like hang your clothes up,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if it's like a strapless dress, and like used that and done like a Bjork swan dress kind of thing with it. I hated that black lace in the back. Like I kind of be interested to see what it would look like of white, but if that whole thing, like all the fabric like dyed to match red, would have loved that.
Oh, that would have been
Because that would have
Yeah.
played with her
Take on-
figure in
And
a
it would have
fun
looked
way.
less napkin-y to you.
Yes.
That white, it's like someone blew it the nose. Just didn't get it.
It's ready there whenever you need it.
How many stars you give it?
I gave this 4 stars.
4.
I gave 2.
1.
One.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
I think there's ways this could have worked and been really fun that would have pleased me. But then again, I'm not Betty Boop or
Can't
the
please
torrid
everyone.
clientele. So I think they made the best decision for the clientele where it was being sold, who was buying it,
Agreed.
price point, all that stuff. Well, you ladies have anything else to say about the show tonight?
I think that just about covers it.
I'm excited for next week's episode.
You still pulling for a double elimination?
Yep.
Yes. Let's move
Avant-garde.
on, please.
Oh wait, next week no episode. The week after.
yeah, the week
you guys.
after, that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. We're don't have a Project Runway episode next week. If you didn't know that, now you do. That's what you get for watching AfterBuzz TV Project Runway All Stars after show. And thank you so much for sticking around and joining us again this week. We've had a lot of fun. You can find me, Michael Shirley, on the internet at Michael X Shirley.
And you can find me, Hanna Bee, at Hanna Bee Tucker.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Uberreste, and my website is michelleUberreste.com.
Not on Twitter, though.
No
Yeah.
Twitter.
No Twitter anymore.
Hey guys, you can find me everywhere at Mayte Carrillo _.
Well, until the week after next, we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Ah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.